Yeah. What they talking about? Yeah, I took a break, let's get this shit started. Yeah, I heard your tape, yeah, it's big garbage. Heard the shit you make, boy, you big sorry. Yeah, as long as they say, nigga. Yeah, I took a break, let's get started. Yeah, I heard your tape, yeah, it's big garbage. Heard the shit you make, boy, you big sorry.
Yo, what's good people? And I will start again by saying absolutely nothing, because no matter how many times things supposed to change, they stay the goddamn same. What I mean by that is another man, unarmed, regardless of what he's doing. See, this is, the way they try to switch things up. Well, he had a checkered past, or he used to be this type of way, or he, you see all these excuses thrown out to justify their behavior. In the wake of George Floyd, Aubrey, Brown, Trayvon, sometimes people done had enough. And if you think that with evidence shown that these would be open and shut cases, you got video. Video tells a very plain freaking story. Let's just say I say something crazy on here. They would use this video against me in a court of law, and probably will convict me because you got me on video doing said things and saying said things, right? But for some reason, well, we ain't gonna say for some reason, we already know what the reason is. The video don't tell the story that's being shown. I was gonna take today off. Holiday weekend, had a long one. Had an awesome barbecue with the family yesterday. Man, we had a ball. But my cuz first put me on. He said, yo, cuz, what you think about this? KG. He said, yo, this thing that happened. And I'm like, what? Again? Now, mind you, we got all this craziness going on with these shooters. Not only are the American people being terrorized by shooters that somehow could buy guns with all these red flags going up. That's a whole nother pod. What a guy threatened his family to kill in 2019. That's 3 years ago. With all kinds of other transgressions and interactions with law enforcement, this guy was still able to go out and buy a gun and kill people. But that's a whole different pod. But you got a guy that's fleeing from police, something I don't advise anybody to do. If you're being stopped, stop. Show your hands. And do all that other stuff you're supposed to do when you're getting stopped. Don't raise your voice. Don't do nothing crazy when you're around them. Because they don't need too many excuses to get you out of here. And we see it time and time again. Time and time again. The man is running away from the police, not at the police, running away from the police. Early autopsy, 60 wounds, 60 bullets. 60 bullets. Think about that. You can be killed by one, let alone stop by one, let alone you have unlethal means of bringing people down with tasers and all type of other stuff that they have. 60 rounds to take a man down. Like we some kind of superhumans. Like it only won't take one. 60 freaking bullets to take a guy down. You know, I know being a police officer is a hard damn job. Nobody denies that. And for the most part, you know, they are to be commended for the shit they have to put up with. But what should go without being said is that it don't take 60 bullets to stop a man, let alone when you have unlethal means to stop someone. I'm telling you, between the time of, unfortunately, George Floyd, where you seen them murder him on camera, and to what we have now on camera, another murder. Why do you think they still do it? If they were really being held accountable for their actions, why do you still think it's happening? Because they know something we don't know. That they gonna find a way to get out of this shit. They always do. Because I don't care if that man did take a shot at them. That still don't dictate them putting 60 bullets in him as he's running away from them. Now, if someone's coming towards you, then I could see them consider you as a threat. But goddamn, it doesn't matter if you're running away, running towards, running. Doesn't matter. They're gonna light you up. it really is scary to have and be a father of black children. Because nothing you do can really prepare them for the shit that they have to deal with. I got 2 black sons. Okay? And I fear for them every day. Just because of the color of their skin, I fear for my own self sometimes. With my interactions with these people too. You know. But you gotta tell your children, you know, to fear somebody that got on the side of their car to serve and protect. To serve and protect. I know y'all really here to serve and protect business interests and buildings and property and really not the people, because you show it in your actions. You show it in your actions. Uvalde, they let kids die. I don't know if that would have happened if that was Beverly Hills. The right people would have got up in there and got them rich kids up out of there. Believe that. But the distinction goes without being said. You got children in the building. Children. They didn't even care if it was children. Tasing parents, tackling parents. Really, are you there to serve and protect? I think you're there to serve and protect a certain class of people. You do that. You're there to serve and protect property. When riots break out, when Black Lives Matter march, y'all came out there with full tactical gear. And it was a mixed coalition with black, white, Spanish marching. They came out there shooting tear gas and chasing people down. That's was there in a peaceful protest to shine a light on these police that's out here killing us. Lord knows the politicians ain't gonna do nothing. Man, I just wanted to have a peaceful day today. And you know, it's just not in the cards. It's not in the cards because every day you wake up, I wonder what's going to happen today. I wonder what's going to happen today. Not a matter of if, ever. There's no if, because there's no more quiet days. It's when. Because if it ain't this bad thing, it's another bad thing. And it's every goddamn day in this country. Other so-called marginal, I ain't gonna say so-called, other marginalized groups that go through their transgressions and stuff, they get legislation passed for them ASAP. They seen people was attacking Asian people. They got an Asian hate crime law right out the gate. Bam. How long was that anti-lynching law sitting in the Senate and in the Congress? Nothing being done about it. It's still sitting in there probably now. Ain't nothing being done about it. Anti-lynching, which should be a very easily legislative thing to get passed. Yo, we don't want nobody being lynched. But they won't pass the law. But they keep trying to tell you and put in your face that, oh no, black people aren't being treated different. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You got guys coming off of buildings after murdering people. Get to surrender. No shots fired. And this guy was sitting on top of a roof with a long gun, knocking people off. But he gets to surrender, turn himself in. The other guy in the Buffalo supermarket murders all these people, black people, gets to surrender, turn himself in. Dylan Roof goes in a church full of parishioners. Gets to go in there, murder people. Not only did he get to turn himself in without no violence, he was took to a fast food store and got burgers before he was taken into custody. Well, not taken into custody, but taken into the facility. But black people can't say they being treated different, because then they want everybody to look at their suffering. All people of color suffer. Ain't nobody suffering like us. Get gunned down like animals in the street. Every now and again you hear about somebody here or there, but majority of the cases it be us. And you want to talk crazy about why people say disband the police. I'm pretty sure everybody knows we need police. But do we need this type of policing? Where you can be unarmed, sitting in your car with your girlfriend and your baby sitting in the back. Mr. Castillo, tell them you have a firearm in the car and it's legal, and they see that your child is sitting in the back seat without any care in the world, they will shoot you. Killed in front of his girlfriend and his child while sitting in the car and doing everything you're told to do. Going for a jog in the wrong neighborhood. Murdered, shot, took forever to get charges brought against these people because they was affiliated with the police and everything else. And you want to sit here and say that we don't get treated different. We have to really educate ourselves and our children on what's going on out here. You can't tell me that any person of color should feel safe walking these streets, let alone just a random violence that can happen. We got to worry about the people that's supposed to be there to stop it from happening. Worry more about them than the fucking criminals. Because it seems like the police departments have a problem where they're being infiltrated by cowards with this shoot first. I don't care what happens later, because they know nothing's going to happen to them for some reason other than the fact that they must know something we don't, that they're not going to be prosecuted. And if they do, they're going to get slap on the wrist. I don't want to hear no more fucking shit about equal rights in this country. It doesn't exist. It does not exist, people. And if it does, it doesn't exist for you. Because as of late, doesn't really matter what color of skin you are. It matters if them or you. I was watching something and the police officer said, man, I do whatever I gotta do to get home to my family. And I respect that. Does that mean break the law? Because if you saying anything, that includes break the law. And then by that, you shouldn't be a police officer. Because that's saying something different. Maybe you shouldn't take that kind of job if you're willing to do anything to go home to your family. I know goddamn well I don't like shooting guns or anything like that. So I will never be a police officer or somebody in the military or anything like that. Because that's not something that I like. It takes a certain type of person to be in that mind frame, in that mind state. And I'm not that. Don't pretend to be and don't want to be. But what I would say, it's a lot of people that's probably in those positions that think like that. And maybe should not be having these positions. Because if you that scared that you shoot first and ask questions later, you'd rather be judged by 12 than carried out by 6. Because that's what I heard too. You know you'd rather be judged by 12 because you know those 12 most likely gonna give you that slap on the wrist or nothing at all. That's why they still doing it, folks. And again, why do we keep thinking these people gonna change it? They're not. It's very apparent. Nobody's even talking about it. Nobody really knows what happens, as you're going to see with what I'm about to show you. This is what they say, right? What they say. Because whatever they say, it is what it is. So let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they're saying. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. And let's do this. Because he says something. He's trying to explain some things. But you tell me what you think.
There were 8 officers who were directly involved in the shooting. All officers have been placed on paid administrative leave as per department policy. We do not know the exact number of rounds that were fired. Again, this is something that BCI will discover in their examination of evidence. However, based on the video, I anticipate that number to be high. A lot of rounds were fired. And I will not be surprised if the number at the end of the investigation is consistent with the number that has been circulating in the media.
Okay, let's stop it there. He's saying there's a lot of shots fired. And he has no reason to believe that what the news media is saying and what's being spread around about the situation, a lot of rounds being fired. So you already know, he already thinking in his head, and this is their chief, that they done did too much. Like I said earlier, 60 shots. The guy got hit 60 times. Lord knows how many times he shot at him, but he got hit 60 times. All right, let's continue.
But right now, we just don't know. While BCI needs to confirm the number of times Mr. Walker was shot, the ME's report indicates over 60 wounds to Mr. Walker's body. There was a gun recovered from Mr. Walker's vehicle. At the time of the shooting, he was unarmed. What was going to be a routine traffic stop, which would probably result either in a warning or a citation being issued, turned into a pursuit.
Okay, so now he's saying that it would have just been a citation or a warning, and this guy must have didn't feel it was going to be that if he got up out of there. But see, people don't understand. Most black men, when they see lights behind them, and I don't give a fuck how, I don't care how tough they are or whatever, first thing get in your head is fear, doubt, anxiety. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about how those lights behind you make you feel. Especially in most cases, in a lot of cases that I know of, you do nothing wrong, but those lights pop up behind you anyway. Because that's what most people I know have to deal with. Them lights popping on behind you and you ain't do a traffic violation in the first, but they pop on behind you anyway. But let's go.
As Mr. Walker turned onto the entrance ramp to Round and the shot is fired, that changes the nature of the contact. 40 seconds after the initiation of the traffic stop, a half a mile from the location of the traffic stop, you hear the gunshot, and then everything else that I just discovered. I'm going to say this.
Okay. That's the setup for the excuses. The excuses of why they did what they did. He's setting it up so they could have a built-in excuse. It was a gunshot. Was any officer injured? This is the part he's leaving out. This is what I tell you. They tell a story, don't tell you the whole thing. When they heard a shot, was it a shot from him? Do we know that? I mean, they don't tell you the whole story. Okay, so let's go.
An officer makes the most critical decision in his or her life as a police officer.
This is the only part that he says that I kind of respect.
They make the most critical decision to point their firearm at another human being and pull the trigger. They've got to be ready to explain why they did what they did. They need to be able to articulate what specific threats they were facing, and that goes for every round that goes down the barrel of their gun.
Every round. Listen to what he said. I mean, you heard what he said, right? They got to be accountable for every round, what threats they was facing, every round that came out the barrel of their gun. Well, let's see if that happens. Because the police chief is saying one thing, but when they go into court, a whole nother thing happens. Okay? Now, like I said before, I don't care what color skin you are. If you're doing something you ain't supposed to do, shit happens, right? But sometimes you can be doing shit you supposed to do and shit happens too. Okay? We don't have the whole story, but they already out here putting out information. I would like y'all to go on and see what they saying about it. Because I'm going to keep my eyes glued to the screen and my ears to the ground about it too. Because this is another teaching moment for us. Black folk. And people of color. They pumping 60 rounds into people. Running away from them. You can run through a neighborhood minding your business just trying to exercise and get executed for being the wrong complexion. You can be walking down the street with a bag of Skittles with a hoodie on your head, and something could happen to you. You could just be having a bad day. You could be a little kid with a plastic gun and have cops ride up on you and just shoot you down. You could be selling Lucy cigarettes and get choked the fuck out. See, when other people say they're being persecuted and being... It ain't like that. It's not like that. A lot of you other nationalities have the complexion for the protection, right? But we can't change. We can't put no makeup on and look different. We can't put on a coon voice and talk with proper etiquette and everything and speak real good, and that shit matters for us. It can't happen. So when I sit and I see people over here talking about black people complain a lot about things, we have fucking reason to. Cause ain't none of y'all being treated like we get treated in this country. Now, after watching that video by the police chief, right?
What if you were a renowned tennis tournament with ambitions to...
His sister had a statement of her own. And she had a statement. And I'm going to read that to you. Because they're saying a shot was fired and a gun was found. And that's the police saying that. Right? But we all know that the police don't lie in this country. They don't freaking lie in this country. They always tell the truth. That's what we're told. You know what I mean? That's what we're told. But I want to read this to you. This is from his sister and the attorney. Jayland Walker's sister and an attorney alleged that the photo Akron, Ohio police released showing a gun recovered from the car of a black man shot and killed by officers during a traffic stop was staged. You heard that? Staged. This comes after Akron Police Department released a video Monday of the deadly June 27th shooting of 25-year-old Jayland Walker in a pursuit that started with an attempted traffic stop. It's not clear how many shots were fired by the 8 officers involved, but Walker reportedly sustained more than 60 wounds. The department also released a photo of a handgun, a loaded magazine, and an apparent wedding ring that police say were found on the seat of the car. A casing consistent with the weapon was later found in the area where officers believed a shot had came from the vehicle, police said. And, you know, like I said before, we never known the police to make shit up. That just don't happen, right? Now, people that's listening, you can't see my face. There was some sarcasm in that, okay? This is what his sister said as well. I've never known him to own a gun of any sort at all. He never brought it to my attention. The last thing I would imagine him having with him was a gun. Walker's sister Jada Walker told ABC's Good Morning America. I haven't been watching a lot of publications and things because I don't want to see him in that light. I'm just really sad because out of many black men and many families who have experienced this, even as a sister, you know, it's just, excuse me, it's really hard. Okay. Now, I don't know. I can watch this video.
Of Jayland Walker, who was killed in a hail of bullets fired by Akron, Ohio police officers. And TJ, we know that you had an opportunity to speak with her.
And she cried through the first third of the interview. And you can understand that. But the things that aren't in dispute in this case is that Jayland Walker was unarmed when police opened fire. He ends up with 60 wounds.
Unarmed with 60 wounds
In his body. So the question is, how do we go from a routine traffic stop to that? And the police video that was released was supposed to answer some of this, but his sister says she has not been able to watch that video yet.
I won't see him again. I won't be able to hug him again or just remind him that I love him or anything like that.
Jada Walker is preparing to bury her baby brother. Speaking to ABC News for the first time since Akron police released body camera video showing 8 of their officers shooting and killing 25-year-old Jayland Walker.
Now, you know that video is out there. Are you just not ready to see it yet?
It's just not matching the person that I know because he's not into that. And that's not him. That's not Jay. And I can't accept that at all, and I don't. I shouldn't say I don't want to, but I just can't fathom to see any sort of video of him being gunned down that amount of times, you know, as if he was just like aim practice.
I'm gonna stop it there. Like I said earlier, what do they think we are, superhuman? Like if they shoot us only one time, we gonna jump back up and take down 8 of them? But when people say defund the police, I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea. Serve and protect. Serve and protect. Serve whoever is paying them their checks. Get home by any means necessary. Protect property, not people. That's what that means. And you heard what she said about her brother. She don't know him to be that type of guy. You would think she know her brother. Now something might come out later. She just didn't know her brother. It happens. Everybody can show a face to you and be different somewhere else. But man, she talking like she really know her brother. That's not like, yeah, that's my brother, I don't really know what he into. No, I know my brother. You know, some people, they want you to think that we like I said, we're superhumans, and we can't die off of one shot. They gotta keep banging us up. You know, they gotta keep banging us up. It's just crazy how we get treated as black men. And I just want people to understand that when black people say we are treated differently, nobody be lying. Nobody be freaking lying. I'm about to show y'all something else. Because the narrative people need to see is what these people be doing. Because it's not something that's not prevalent in a black man day-to-day association with law enforcement and other folks for that matter. This is how we are treated. And I want y'all to watch this.
At a block party when New Haven police arrived in response to a weapons complaint. Officers arrested Cox, who they say is an ex-felon and was carrying a firearm illegally. As they were transporting him to jail, authorities say Officer Oscar Diaz was speeding and came to a sudden stop to avoid an accident. As a result, Cox's head is slammed against the back of the van, which had no seatbelt.
I can't hear you.
Despite Cox's repeated calls for help, it took the officer almost 4 minutes to check on him.
Can you move at all?
I can't move.
Before calling an ambulance to meet him at the police station. When the van arrived, several other officers were waiting and began berating Cox to get out.
Move your leg. Sit up.
Why are you not listening, bro?
Sit up.
I can't move.
You're not even trying.
About 3 minutes later, they dragged Cox, feet first, out of the van.
What's going on? Huh?
You ain't cracking. You just drink too much.
Before officers forcefully hoisted him into a wheelchair.
Sit up.
Cox is processed and dragged into a holding cell about 10 minutes after the van arrived at the station.
He's perfectly fine. You want to put these on? Yeah.
He was placed on the floor where an officer shackled his legs, but he couldn't move.
What's up?
Randy Cox was at a block party when New Haven police arrived in response.
But black people don't have a reason to say we get treated differently than everybody else. That video right there, that's the video you seldom get to see. They treat us like animals and wonder why we bite. They tell everybody you animals. You wonder why we bite. I don't expect shit to change. I didn't show you this story because I expect shit to change. I show you this story because people that think that the shit don't happen, they need to see it. And understand why we feel the way we feel, why we say what we say, why we do what we do. Like I said, I wanted to just chill today. This is a day after a real long barbecue, a lot of meat cooking on the grill, me and my brother chilling with my family. I just wanted to relax today. Ain't no time for relaxing. Everybody need to pay attention. Keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your ears to the ground. This has been your Don't Listen podcast. Teach them babies, y'all. Tell them how they gotta deal with these goddamn cowards and the way they treat us. Don't act like you don't know. 'Cause if you don't know, now you know. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. What they talking about? Yeah, I took a break, let's get this shit started. Yeah, I heard your tape, yeah, it's big garbage. Heard the shit you make, boy, you big sorry. Yeah, as long as they saying, nigga. Yeah, I took a break, let's get started. Yeah, I heard your tape, yeah, it's big garbage. Heard the shit you make, boy, you big sorry.